All right, welcome. So here we have a video today. It's from Depressed to Soggy. It's about why people hate Bao the Whale. I'm actually curious because I thought for the longest time I thought Bao was one of the more respectable VTubers. So I'm actually curious to see what happened. All right, after watching the whole video, I'm going to edit out the first 20 minutes of the video. They're not bad, but the first 20 minutes it talks about Bao in a pretty good light. That's not bad. Um, what essentially happens is that Bao gets scammed 3 times. She loses like over $30,000. She gets scammed 3 times. The next thing that happens is that she gets about the Cinder drama, which all of these are here. I don't think anybody can fault her for what happened. You know, this is not wasn't her. Like she got scammed 3 times, and then the Cinder situation happened. That none of this paints her in a bad light. So I'm actually gonna edit out the first 20 minutes there, just so we get the actual part what we're actually here for. We want to know like why do people? This is what I'm here for. I want to know why people actually hate this content creator so much for now. Because like I said it at the very beginning of the video. I was under the impression that Bao was always a well-respected VTuber. Everybody actually genuinely liked her, but obviously I didn't follow her tweets or I didn't really watch her at all. So, yeah.
Bao most especially. With this in mind, the picture that a lot of people have painted was that Bao was just used like a fleshlight by Nanolys's agenda.
Wait, can't believe you actually said that. Fleshlight? Holy shit, dude. Oh, what the fuck?
Now, under Cinder's
I
1000
have
page
never
Google
heard.
Document, Cinder and Redact
Why? I've never heard someone say that about something like that before. She got used like a flashlight? Like, what in the fuck?
made a segment made especially for Bao. In this segment, now, obviously, I read this tweet and I didn't even register that it was controversial. My reaction was duh, and I even retweeted it. Putting attention into the male VTuber stigma and following up with the general interpretation.
If you're an upcoming female content creator, yeah, she got screwed over by some male behind the scenes, probably somebody she was trying to date or somebody that fucked her, and then now she's upset about it.
That yes, creators bigger than you hitting you up out of nowhere should be a red flag. But of course, not everyone understood it the way I did, because Bao's wording specifically uses men. And in the current political climate that we live in right now, it unfortunately cannot be helped that the words we say have some sort of connotations, whether we like it or not, whether we intended it or not. So a lot of people were calling her out to be anti-men, a misandrist, a full-blown hypocrite who takes advantage of men, yet is the first one to cry about it. This situation actually got the lollymancer VTuber Shondo involved, but I don't want to derail this video by going into that.
Okay, let's be real. You probably could have included it. I think so far this is a pretty good video, but you titled it "Why People Hate Bao the Whale," and the first 20 minutes of it. Well, honestly, this is a little bit. Honestly, half the video is painting her in a good light. You probably could have included it. Honestly,
who understood or
either that, you could have like cut out like. I mean, yeah, I'm just saying. I mean,
tried to understand what Bao was trying to say, came up to Bao for clarification, but instead of clarifying, she instead said this.
And to the people that are trying to dilute what I'm saying to fit their own, like, stupid-ass anti-woman, I fucking hate you, you're misandrous, I don't care, bro. I don't care, bro. Go fix your receding hairline. You ever heard of minoxidil? Yeah, try that.
Bro, I'm sorry, but this shit also, if you look at it, it just doesn't work.
All right, don't care. Wrap it up. Okay.
Not a good look. And look, there are undeniably
slime slapping his cheeks. It is. What the fuck?
Not a good look.
Why does it have a
there are undeniably a vocal few who are pissed and wanted to run with the worst interpretation of the tweet possible. Or people who may have some reading comprehension skill issues who took it the wrong way and just decided to run with what the outrage is saying. But there were also people who wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. And when faced with these requests, one would expect that it should be met with grace, but Bao,
Right. I don't think, yeah, that was kind of stupid of her. Like, this shit on every single male in existence. Like, obviously, you would assume maybe she's not, like, talking to, like, her actual fans, but I'm sure she probably has fans. Like, they probably took offense to it, possibly.
instead decided to lash out, citing that people are just mad at her for inserting themselves into what she is already saying, and in a later Discord message was ranting about how the backlash mostly
Dude, I bet you over 80% of her fan base are fucking, like, degenerate male virgins that fucking are trying to get in her pants.
stemmed from grifters and pyropups that were mad at her. Pyropups, by the way, are Cinder's fan base. Now, obviously, these are not
I
the
do
best
know
way
Cinder
to
does have some pretty loyal fans for sure.
respond when people are asking for clarification, and it's not a
I
great
can
thing to
imagine
see
that.
for the good faith actors trying to see what you are talking about. But later on, Bao in actual seriousness does respond to the backlash, a little bit more properly, although she's still pissed as hell and she still frames a lot of her detractors as
You know, he included a lot actually, but he didn't include the part where I do remember specifically her crying on stream and shit with Shy Lily, right?
retarded. She uses Mizkif as an example, saying that if you don't meet the conditions of these 3 things, then the tweet doesn't refer to you. And that when she says these things, she has a specific set of people in mind, but that she can't say who or she will get sued. And in her anger, she expresses that if you don't understand, then you are just straight up illiterate or intentionally
Okay, it's all coming together. I've heard things behind the scenes. Ms. Kiff has probably fucked a metric ton of VTubers. Look, I'm not saying, like, you can put 2 and 2 together. There were times, even Filion was actually at Ms. Kiff's house. Her voice was on stream, talking to him through the hallway. Look, I'm not saying, hey, I wouldn't be surprised. I have heard things.
trying to stir trouble. The rest of her response is just her giving a dissertation on the strat for a lot of big male content creators to get
There are clips out there of people talking about it, so just okay. I wouldn't be surprised if she was referring to Miskiff here. Let's just be
into different women's pussies, but it's not supposed to generalize. Again, I do understand what she was trying to say. I don't think she was trying to be misandrist with that one specific tweet, but calling being cancelled engagement farming.
Nuh-uh.
Blanketing a lot of the criticism as just illiterates and angry pyropups, and going on a blocking spree instead of clarifying properly, it's hard not to see that she's being childish, that she refuses to take accountability, does not hold well to criticism, and does not know how to handle backlash. Even if we agree that people were being bad faith and is refusing to genuinely engage with what Bao is saying, which I agree with, I feel like her general
what I
messaging
might
was
do,
obvious,
actually?
we also have to agree that Bao is also
since I didn't honestly to do less. I'll probably do I'll just do the first minutes. I'm probably when I upload this on YouTube, I'm probably gonna cut out a fuck ton of this, and yeah, all this other stuff here, none of this actually like fits this.
refusing to genuinely engage with the feedback, and that her response made it hella worse when the drama could have ended from here. That being said, me personally, I can criticize her for not immediately clarifying, but my biggest criticism of her during this arc is the vague posting itself. In general, I hate vague posting. If any content creator
Right,
wants
so
to talk about a certain happening or wants to throw shade
Okay, I think I understand what happened here. All right, so she became misogynistic or a man hater because she probably fucked some dude, some big male content creator, and he probably fucking ditched her or left her on on red, you know.
someone that they can't completely talk about in public, then just don't say it. Say it in private circles or something.
It's crazy how like one dude probably, and now she fucking hates all men. That's actually fucking crazy.
The moment a vague post leaves your lips and onto the cesspit known as Twitter, many people are gonna want to find out. Many people are going to want to assume or figure out who you are talking about, what you're talking about, and what the point of you talking about it was. Whatever bad happening that comes from your own vague post is completely your own fault. Vague posting is stupid. Vague posting is bad engagement farming. You cannot call other people stupid for not understanding or looking deeply into your own vague post. That's just how I see it, honestly. But then literally a week later, in November, Bao got into another bit of trouble. Bao made a tweet on November 1 asking artists to request permission before posting art of their clients. Ere, you spoil whatever projects or plans they might have, and then minutes later, she posts, I hate you, Skeb.
Okay, this is understandable.
Skeb is a Japanese commissioning website that doesn't operate on the rules of traditional art commissions.
Okay, alright. Now, if they always do this, I think it's on you to communicate with them beforehand and say, look, hey, when you finish your commission, please don't post it. I'm trying to keep it a surprise. So I don't know if that's what she did or not.
In Skeb, commissioners don't get to have revisions, don't get to have commercial rights unless agreed upon, and the commissioner doesn't get to have a large say on how they are allowed to use the art, but it's so cheap, so convenient, so good that you almost hand wave off most of these cons. As long as you understand what you're getting into by reading the
Huh. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. The copyright it is prohibited to specify or restrict the publication place of the okay.
of service.
Oh, so you don't if you commission it, you don't actually own it still then. Oh.
Then you're good. It's hard for me to pull up the responses and the retweets from this tweet because it's
Okay.
already been deleted. So you're going
Well,
to have
hey,
to
you
take
should have
my
read
word for
you
it.
should have read
But
the
in this tweet, she
fine
has had
print.
multiple responses and retweets calling her stupid and that the artists have no obligation to do that,
Okay.
especially if the commission
yeah.
was via Skeb.
Yep.
She deleted this tweet, like I said, after a while. Because
yeah,
in literally
yeah,
2
yeah.
days, Skeb subtweeted Bao and gave an
See, with context to see how that works, she was in the wrong here. Okay. All rights to works on Skeb belong to creators. Clients can never yeah. Okay. Yeah.
entire
alright.
clarification in English just to hammer it
isn't-
home. It was a bit
She
of
was
a
wrong
public
here,
humiliation.
but I don't. She was wrong here for sure, but I don't. This isn't like. I don't see why people would hate her for this. You know, she was just mistaken.
For Bao, honestly. And of course, critics joined in on the call out. A day later, humiliation
see
for
this.
Bao,
I'm gonna
honestly.
read this.
And of course, critics
Well, I mean, look, she's got scammed 3 times already. People are constantly using her or beating her down like a fucking flashlight. Oh, I'll never get over that. That's a fucking hilarious like line for me. She took an L last week for men hating tweets. Now she takes another L this week for. Wait, was it really that far apart? Actually, it was November 3rd, and the other one was in October. She's the lol cow of the week. Okay. Right. So yeah, you gotta be careful. You went out to a Japanese website and then yeah
joined
okay,
in on the
alright.
call out. A day later, she made a response.
You. No, this is bullshit here. No, fucking. All she should have done. It's just, dude. Why is she? Well, we know she's retarded. She's mentally challenged. Okay, all right. I understand now. She's mentally challenged. Like, dude, all she had to do was just apologize. Hey, I was wrong. I didn't realize. I didn't read the fine print. People would have forgiven her. Okay, all right. No, you can't double down like this right here. You really can't. That is
Saying that she's sorry. She wasn't talking about Skeb.
dude. Like, did she not have any fucking good friends to talk to before she did this? Make this tweet. Like, hey, look, I think I need to just tweet. Like, oh, show me what you over, and I'll go over and look at it. Like, do people really make these type of tweets or apologies without like going and talking to a friend first? Like,
her initial tweet, and the second tweet below was just an add-on.
if you use VGen, there's a TOS. There is a TOS option usually says saying if the artist is allowed to post, or if you need to pay confidentiality fee. Oh. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
After she was talking to creators under her comment section complaining about Skeb because Skeb had the exact same problems. At this
right,
point,
but you said you hate Skeb, and there's nothing wrong with Skeb. That was their policy. So why even say that it wasn't about Skeb? But then you randomly said, you replied to it and said, I hate Skeb. Man, no. Dude, now she's just a fucking liar.
even passers-by started to notice. Bao was being hostile, being argumentative, being toxic, and surrounded.
Well, alright, she got scammed 3 times. She probably got fucked over some dude. Some dude probably fucking cream pied her or some shit, and he probably won't talk to her ever again. So now she hates all men, and now this shit comes out with the confidentiality thing. Dude, okay, let's understand. She's fucking in her feelings right now, probably. So
By so much drama that it's hard to keep finding positive things to say about her, even if she did have understandable conditions that enabled these behaviors.
No, she's not. Is this? Are you for real here? She's finding herself in all this drama, dude. The only drama she's found herself in, like that's makes her paint her in a bad light, is the one tweet she did with me, the misandrous tweet about hating men, male content streamers that reach out to them, larger ones. And in this right here, this is
already having a sunken
she could
experience
totally
in
come
the
back
past
from
few
this. This
years
isn't
alone,
like
the
that
whole
bad.
Cinder saga. And then last week's call out, even if one can look at these and feel bad for Bao, in the back of many people's head, it was also hard to ignore her agency in all of it. She keeps getting into a lot of these dramas and
But some of these dramas weren't her fault though.
situations
I don't know
that
about
at
that.
a certain point,
I wouldn't say that.
you can't defend her. What if
No. She made a fucking stupid tweet on here, October 27, 2025. She made a fucking, this is a stupid tweet. She never should have posted this. She got her in the feels. Some dude fucking did her wrong. And now she fucking hates all men. I mean, look, she's going through it emotionally. And then
those
a week or 2 weeks later, then she does her schizo take on the Skeb commission artist thing, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to use everything that happened to her between Cinder and everything else. Like, oh, she's getting all this drama. That's not
small
fair.
signs of intellectual incapability, her having these crash outs, her being easily manipulated, her being inserted into drama the 5th time this year, what if all of these are her fault? But at this point, the damage was
No.
done. At best, Bao was just self-damagingly stupid.
Right,
At
she-
worst, maliciously
absolutely.
misandrist. Either way is not a good look, and it was going to be hard to try to get rid of it. She acknowledges this in a tweet later, saying that she hasn't been
Okay, I haven't been feeling like myself at all. I feel this year has poisoned me deeply, and I'm not able to focus on anything but all the negatives. It's all I think about, and it's not fair to air it out in space that's trying to heal. I am impulsive and don't think things. Okay, I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and it's a terrible condition, and it's responsible and really dangerous. I'm sorry. At worst, I am dumb. Okay, this is actually. I like this tweet. This is actually really good. Yeah, she's been through a lot, so I can understand her here. All right, she had a fucking.
acting like
Yeah.
herself at all.
She just had a moment. Okay, okay.
That this year poisoned her, admitting that her being impulsive
Now, from here on out, this is what I'm expecting. Some fucking wild shit, right? There has to be.
and wearing her emotions on her sleeve is a disastrous combination. And that lastly, she insists she's not malicious, just dumb as fuck. And well, people still found a way to not like this response because
Huh?
if we look at the previous history of the post, she did not even say sorry on the original
She fucking pulled. She did a Dr. Disrespect. I don't. It is. Dude, it is crazy how people can go back and check the history on fucking tweets and stuff like that. If you're going to write up a tweet, please, for the love of God, type it out in Notepad first or something, and give your time to go over it. Okay.
tweet and had to actually edit it afterwards. So was she actually sorry
This is probably one of my favorite characters in JoJo. And I obviously at the start of Statators, he kind of like was just like doing a guy character. Next, you say I was only pretending to be retarded. Ah, yeah.
Story? Does she actually mean it?
Okay.
Is she pulling the mental health card again for sympathy points?
Yeah.
I know this might not be the popular opinion anymore, but even in my previous video covering the situation, I gave
It was okay. It was a bad apology. I'll give it that. That was a bad apology. Had she had I'm very sorry at the beginning. Things would probably be a lot different. Okay.
Bao the benefit of the doubt. I said that she most likely did not
Yeah.
mean a lot of the things that she
I was
said.
giving her a benefit of the doubt too, actually. Okay. So far, I was like, oh, this video isn't really painting her in that bad of a light, you know?
Or meant to hurt or offend anyone, especially the hostile acts. That her doubling down during the misandric arc wasn't her being serious about it, just her lashing out. That she was just overwhelmed and reacting with hostility, seeing red and accidentally making it look worse for herself. Is she malicious? Probably not, but I anticipate that a lot of people will heavily disagree. Does it still deserve criticism? Of course it does.
Yeah.
There comes a point where the line between stupid and malicious blurs that you become so stupid it can come across as malicious, especially if you don't work on it. But my two biggest criticisms for Bao is that one, she cannot shut up, and that from the incidents that we've
Well, that's a, I mean, not to pull the Texas card out there, but she is a woman, so I mean,
gathered so far, two, she can't take accountability. Again, a lot of what
Well,
happened to her is not her
she
fault,
is
but
a-
it wasn't like she had zero control. She's a victim of circumstances, but a lot of these circumstances she created herself. It's always big harsh world versus poor
I can't get over this fucking slime in the background fucking clapping his ass, and it has a straw and fucking for some reason. What? Why is there a straw?
little Bao. It's always Bao's approachability that always gets taken advantage of. It's always Bao's kindness that gets abused. Instead of working on her emotional impulsiveness, she would lash out, make excuses for herself, and blame everyone else, falling into this spiraling loop of self-victimization that she forgets or cannot take accountability for the parts in all the previous incidents that she had control over. She's an adult. Like I said, you can really only feel bad for a person to a certain extent or use the mental health card so many times before people start calling you out. She could have communicated better, reacted more calmly, actually used her head, and most importantly, shut up. I don't necessarily agree that these were mask-off moments for Bao. To me, this was just the other side of the coin of being a genuine stupid girl failure turned up to 11. Yeah, it's cute in the context of ooh anime, I don't know how to take care of myself kind of
I'm
way.
just fucking
It's endearing when
retarded.
they perform it on camera, but in business relationships, in maintaining friendships, in conducting yourself in public, you fucking cook yourself. And you actually have to take accountability for it. If you know you're stupid, maybe take steps to protect yourself and others that take into account the fact that you're stupid. She needs to overhaul how she engages with people in public, and even perhaps how she conducts herself in private if redacted stories are to be believed. 2025 started with
Wait, we're going
private
back to this. Stuff,
if
right?
redacted.
I need to reread this again because I'm genuinely I don't understand. Bao got mad at another one of our friends for something that happened at a restaurant with a rude owner. She got pissed and yelled at and belittled our friend when they did nothing wrong. They confided in the center, and afterwards I was very upset. But it was finally said that's how Bao is. Alright, I'm gonna be honest here. This is fucking shit because this guy doesn't even redacted, doesn't even mention what did she fucking say that was so bad. Like, this is just literally fucking hearsay here.
Its stories are to be believed. 2025 started with Bao being a victim, but it ended with Bao being a villain. The nanoless Cinder Google docu, the career...
Let's be real. That one tweet she had with the men hate shit, it was bad. This right here, this just makes her look fucking stupid. I think anybody with common sense can read here between the lines. All right, yeah, she didn't have the. I'm very sorry, but we can all say that yes, she's fucking stupid. I don't think she can't recover from this. There's just no.
takedown that started to unravel Bao's reputation happened in April of 2025. So there is some sort of poeticness to the fact that the career takedown that is the Sykkuno Google Doc also was released in April this year, as this is the most recent situation that Bao's name got smeared yet again. Now, the Sykkuno Google Docky is a weird saga. I already have a video on it, or at least I'm going to work on it, but Bao was loosely involved. In this Google Docky, it is revealed that this tweet, the misandrist tweet that jumped the Bao slander stocks, wasn't actually about mischief, but was actually vague posting about Sykkuno all along.
Was it? People made the assumption that it was about Sykkuno, but I thought there were tweets saying that it wasn't about Sykkuno. Was this confirmed? I don't think this was confirmed to be about Sykkuno. And I don't think this was even, because this happened at the same time around the mischief drama with the plushie incident in like the con where Amy Marie came out and talked about mischief. This happened around the same time as that. I don't think this was proven to be about
People
Sykkuno.
went back to this tweet and said their pieces, apologized to
If a 30-plus-year-old CC is flirting with you when you just turned 18 or they've been letting flirt, that legal barrier isn't there.
Bao. Y'all need to say sorry to Bao. Me personally though, yes, it does
No.
reframe what she said, but I still hate vague posts. I think the act itself was still harmful.
I don't believe
overall.
that.
And at first, the doc was a W. She was credited in the Google Doc to be responsible for informing
Bao told me at the end of March, Sykkuno's girlfriend reached out to her regarding a controversial tweet Bao made last year. She asked Bao if it was true that the tweet was about Sykkuno. But they never say the tweet was about him, so...
Ma, the creator, that Sykkuno had a girlfriend. Heck, she even took it one step further and connected Ma and said girlfriend. But when the Sykkuno Google Doc ended up poorly for the original detractors, she was dragged into it as well. She had a hand in promoting a bad Google Docky and giving platform to the worst person to make said docky. So she would make a stream clarifying her involvement in all of this. She wasn't part of making the doc, wasn't part of the cancellation itself. There were no pushes to make this doc from her. All Bao did was inform and connect the girlfriend and Hemoma. That was it. And that in terms of tweeting, she hasn't actually logged in for entire months. Now, while I do believe that Bao had limited involvement in this Google Docky, a lot of the backlash came from the fact that she got herself into another drama and another poorly thought out career takedown.
No,
even
I think
if she was
the problem with this, of my opinion with Bao, is that she knew about all this shit happening and she didn't go to the Sykkuno's girlfriend first.
Not involved, the fact that she got herself into this situation again makes people think that she has this like magical anomalous power to get herself into drama and then cry about it. And then one meme culminated it all. A screenshot of her saying, "Men sexualize us all the time. They just mad we now don't."
Dude, you built your entire fucking career off these fucking gooners. You can't sit there and say men sexuality all the time. Dude, have you fucking seen your models? This is alright. So at the very beginning of the video, I point out like you see how she's like in fucking her underwear and shit, and her model like you can't do that and like, oh man sexuality, dude. You encouraged it. You played along with it.
Wall them, all while having a Fansley account that says
dude, yeah. And this new... Wait, she does NSFW audio? What the fuck?
She is, and I quote, a 24/7 free use puppy girl waiting to be put in her place.
Oh
and
my god.
Well, it summarizes a lot of the issue people had with Bao, even enforces the misandrist arc. It gives the impression that Bao is the type to follow the men are pigs angle, all while being happy to receive money from
Dude,
said pigs and
yeah.
report herself out.
Oh my god.
And while that tweet was made in 2021, we can see why that tweet was deleted.
Oh. Oh?
And while that
It was this tweet, right? 2021?
tweet was made in 2021, we can see why that tweet was deleted. The audacity of it, you know, growing a parasocial.
Now we're actually getting somewhere. Now I understand why people actually hate her for. You literally just shit on your entire fucking community.
Horny audience so you can reap them for money, only to actually secretly loathe or think super lowly of them behind their backs? It does not look good. At least, not if you look at it without greater context. What she was actually responding to
VTubers are exploiting their fans with sex.
was a video where a tourist was claiming that VTubers are manipulators, that they exploit their audience with sex. I've watched this video and I know that it's old, but its critique on VTubing that I think is very bad. Coming across as a cynic's perspective for being a cynic's sake. It has too many lapses in its research and whose critique isn't specific or unique to VTubing and whose conclusions are too much of a stretch to make a meaningful or impactful message. It's a video that I would constitute as being made by a tourist who doesn't really know too much about VTubing.
I do think a lot of female VTubers do gooner bait their male audience. Now, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's only a problem when, like, you're against it. You know, like... In this case, Bao, for the entire, like, for all these years, everybody, you know, she fed into it. She used it to get popularity. All these male simps and stuff, but now all of a sudden, now it's a bad thing.
And whose exposure to the medium and industry is max a week or so, even if it was made 4 years ago. As someone that is part of the industry, I know this medium has a lot of flaws and things to criticize about, legit things, valid things, but this video was not it, nor was the creator the best person to make it. The video itself receiving a shit ton of backlash, even from other VTubers aside.
Wait, I don't want to have sex with my viewers.
And from Bao is, in my
opinion,
opinion,
it's too late.
Justified. But even with this context in mind, it's going to take a lot to change a lot of our critics' mind. It's clear that a large fraction of people are just fed up with Bao, and it's a sentiment that will follow her for the foreseeable future. The biggest takeaway from all of this loops back to what I said in the beginning and in the middle.
Wait, you know what? I'm gonna fucking add that fucking clip in with Leaf.
Of this video. Being a girl failure is cute, makes you popular, but it also brings you unwanted trouble and drama if you don't know how to rein it in. A lot of the dramas that Bao got involved in were dramas where she just needed to shut up and not get involved. Maybe she can learn from this. She learned it the hard way, but hey, a forced self-reflection is better than no self-reflection. Yes, she did retweet the Sykkuno doc, but she largely stayed quiet before and during that whole thing, so she's going in the right direction, I think. The VTuber space is brutal. Bao herself knows this. Emotional openness is a strength for community and friendship, but it also becomes a weakness for self-management and appearance. Now, a lot of people aren't waiting for Bao to change. In fact, they're waiting for Bao to get loosely involved in another drama again. Also, they can have more reasons to clown on her. A lot of VTubers that has had that sort of heavy criticism and hate back then, like Vebe and Yanners, were able to somewhat rehabilitate their reputation by just shutting up and
Vei and Yanners both had a history of, especially when it came to Nuktaku, they fucking despise him so fucking much. And Yanners had a, way back in the day, Yanners was really big into the 4chan community. And then after a while, she tried to distance herself from them and act like she wasn't part of it.
No longer embroiling themselves in drama. Mori Kalayo.
But Vei, she retired though, right? Or she took a break.
Has actually even found herself in a similar situation once in 2021. Not knowing when to shut up and how to shut up, and not being able to manage her emotions, responding with clapbacks that only made it obvious that she was affected.
Dude, I've seen her in IRL. She's not ugly.
And giving ammunition for trolls. But 4 years later, it seems like even we have forgotten that she was like that at one point. It wasn't to the same extent as Bao, but that's because Mori caught herself at an earlier point in time. Now, I don't hate Bao. In fact, I quite like her. I have a thing for absolute loser women. So, you know, I have a bit of a bias and I am not as vitriolic as the hate there currently is on her.
Well, I shouldn't say I've seen her in IRL. I've seen pictures of her. Okay, just alright. I've never been outside of the United States, just saying.
Down there in the trenches, waiting in line, bought her merch and gave her the fullest extent of my benefit of the doubts. So much so that my benefit of the doubt stock is running critically low. If more happens, I am sure I won't have much to give of that to Bao any longer. But despite that, even I understand that Bao did deserve a lot of the criticism that many people have pointed out. Even if I don't necessarily agree with some of them, I can see why it's a problem. I want Bao to stop getting involved in drama. I want her to take control of her emotions and, you know, do better. To me, the extent of her actions aren't enough.
Let him finish the video first.
To think she's unforgivable, but she still needs to act. Bao is a dumb fuck, and it takes more than recognition of your flaws to try and address it, but it is the first step. In any case, I hope this video is a bit more balanced and grounded than what you might have expected. Whether or not you dislike Bao or you still like Bao, I hope you can understand the aim of this video as well.
Alright. I'm gonna say this. I don't hate Bao. You know, I don't have a fond liking of her either. But for the most part, all her quote unquote controversies, they're not really that bad. The misandry thing. So if it is about Sykkuno, alright, then I it is what it is. Alright, so maybe she wasn't fucking that bad, or maybe she's not completely male hating. However, once again I disagree. I do not believe that tweet was about Sykkuno. I just don't believe it. And the reason why I say that is because of this one tweet where she's shitting on fucking her entire audience of sexualizing women. And obviously the Skeb situation, she's fucking stupid in that regard. Her response or her apology I thought was actually pretty decent or good. It's just that she didn't fully think it out first. If she fully thought it wouldn't be too bad. But my biggest problem is what's this right here? This is the most damning part of her, and I can see why people hate her or dislike or just don't like her. Men sexualize us all the time. They're just mad we learn to do no wall them for it. I'm sorry. I can't imagine. Imagine if Shy Lily said the same shit. People would fucking hate Shy Lily. See, look. We dodged that. Yeah. Okay, so this is okay. All right, for most part, if you I never saw this tweet before, but if you saw this tweet, that's pretty much all right. You don't have to watch the rest of this video. Yeah, that's literally, this is her biggest part here. Her biggest problem, her thing right here. This is why people hate her for. I could care about all the other shit is I could care less about. That now I'm saying that because of this tweet, I will die on this hill. It was never confirmed by let's see. We go in. Yeah. Let's forward a little bit. Alright. She can sit there and all of a sudden spin this to it was now about Sykkuno, but I will never believe that. I 100% believe because of that tweet, this had nothing to do with Sykkuno. I ain't got confirmation. Bao never said it specifically just about Sykkuno. Alright, okay, yeah. Alright. Interesting video, guys. Hey. If you like this right here, be sure to leave me a like in the comments below. Leave me a dislike. And that, hey, shoot me a comment. Hey, give me a subscribe. You know, like any kind of engagement greatly helps me out. Thanks, guys.